We are back. It is the Tuesday edition of the Field of 68 Best Bets podcast and Best Bets live stream. If you are listening to this in the podcast feed, just give us one moment as we are hitting retweet and making sure that people can fill up into the stream. Jeffrey, how are you, sir? You're back home.
I'm good to be home. You know, I should do one of those. What were they like? Where you were and where you are now, or something like that, in the picture, because I was 2 days ago in the sun on the beach, and last night when I got home, I shoveled a bunch of snow out back for my dog. So this sucks. I can't wait to move in a year and a half somewhere warm. Boston's great in the summer, in the spring, in the fall, but man, does it suck in the winter.
Yeah, you don't. My only advice would be this: if you are going to move somewhere warm, make sure it's on the West Coast, because summers out there aren't that bad.
Right.
Summers.
San Diego's the place, but who can afford San Diego? Like, I don't have Rob Dauster money. You know,
no one has Rob Dauster money. But hey, you know what? Look. The bottom line is this: if you keep hitting on your bets here on this live stream,
good point.
Then you could. You're almost to the point where you could put down a down payment on a house, right? With the winnings that you have
on every. If I had played every game so far and put down like 10 grand on every game, right now I'd be up like 100 grand.
Well, first of all, no, you wouldn't, because there's the rake. You'd probably be up like,
I'd be up 80 grand.
Yeah, something like that. You wouldn't be up 100 grand.
I'm like 12 over 500 or something. We need to get Bradley with the updated numbers. Maybe he'll text them to us if he's watching right now. But I'm telling you, I think I don't know, somewhere around 10, 12 games over 500.
Yeah. You got to be at a winning percentage of about 52.3% to be profitable.
To be able to go to San Diego.
Yeah, to be able to go to San Diego.
Percentage to be able to retire in San Diego. That's all. Can you do those numbers for me?
A lot higher than it is right now. A lot higher than it is right now. All right. So before we get into tonight's slate, I know that you have an opinion on the whole John Calipari and Cam Fletcher kerfuffle. If people have not been paying attention, Cam Fletcher was, I guess, asked to leave the Kentucky team and go home to kind of get his mind right. I mean, Cal threw him under the bus a little bit. He put something out on Twitter. He clarified the reasons why he put out the statement that he did is because media members had gotten hold of the information and he wanted to get out ahead of it and put out a reason why Cam Fletcher was taking some time away from the program. But I don't know I know you have a take on it. I don't have the tweets in front of me, but tell me what you think. Okay,
go ahead. Let me read the tweets real quick. From Calipari yesterday at about 11:30 yesterday morning. We've asked Cam Fletcher to take some time and step away from the team. He needs to reflect and do some soul searching to get his priorities in order. Any attitude or actions that are detrimental to this team will not be tolerated, and that goes for everyone on the team. We have a culture here that's been built over the last 11 years, and it will not change. Through good times and bad, this culture is meant to change individuals and change maturity levels. This hurts our team, but this is about Cam and his future. I talked to Cam and his mother, and they know I care about him and love him, but they also understand that there are changes that need to be made. It's his job to decide whether he can perform this within this culture, both on and off the court. Wow. I got to say, Rob, I have not seen this in all my years of doing this. Somebody publicly, a coach, a high-profile coach like John Calipari, I haven't seen any coach do this and crush a player like this. A freshman, nonetheless. Like, if this was a senior, maybe, right? And they built up a trust level or relationship over the years. But to absolutely publicly humiliate Cam Fletcher like this, and maybe people are going to think I'm being soft. I think you do it behind closed doors. You do not do this publicly and absolutely, again, throw this kid under the bus. It's a complete bullshit maneuver by John Calipari. And I think he should come out today and apologize and say, hey, listen, my bad. I screwed up. I should have kept this in-house, because that's what I want my players to do. Keep it in-house. And we're going to get on him. We're going to try to help him here. We're going to send him home. What all he had to do is put out a statement, Rob. Hey, you know what? Cam Fletcher's been suspended for undisclosed, whatever.
You don't even have to say suspended. You could just say Cam Fletcher is taking a leave of absence from the program, blah, 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 blah.
Protect the kid. protect the kid here. That's your job here, is to have this kid who, again, is a freshman playing in a pandemic right now. Bullshit, John Calipari. Grow up. Like, be a coach, be a leader. Don't throw this kid under the bus. Try to help him. And now everybody has a view of Cam Fletcher, whether it's right or wrong, that to me just shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, it taints the picture of him as a kid, because Cal's never done this before. So it makes you think, like, okay, what did Cam Fletcher do to get John Calipari to railroad me like this? Like, why is John Calipari finally, for like the first time in 11 years, coming out publicly and ripping one of his players? Like,
because he's 1-5, Rob?
I don't know. I don't want to put thoughts in John Calipari's head. I know that you're perfectly willing to do it, but it doesn't.
I've never seen this before. And no, in full disclosure, I don't get along with John Calipari. That doesn't mean I don't have a ton of respect for what he's been able to build in Lexington, Kentucky, and a lot of the players that absolutely love him and revere him that have left the program, whether it's Memphis, Kentucky, UMass. I just think this one was extremely ill-advised, period.
Yeah, so there is some kind of background here, right? So it was the Notre Dame game. Cam Fletcher played like 3 minutes in the first half and got lost like 2 or 3 times defensively. And Cal noticed, and he said something about it in the press conference after the game. I don't think that he mentioned Cam by name, but it was very obvious who he was talking about, because he said we have guys making mistakes and then they don't play in the second half. And Cam Fletcher made like 3 defensive mistakes in a row and didn't play in the second half. So it was very obvious who he was talking about. And then against North Carolina, he played like 3 minutes, and then there was like he had like a little bit of a meltdown on the bench. I mean, there was they showed clips of him that looked like he was crying into a towel.
And then he apologized publicly on Twitter. He apologized for it all.
So something else must have happened. There's got to be something that we don't know about that's going on there. But to your point, I don't know if that's the right way to handle it. But again, like, we don't know exactly what happened that forced Cal to do this. Like, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to speculate on what could have happened. But
no, we have no idea. We have no idea. We don't have to speculate on it. It doesn't matter what happened, Rob. It doesn't matter. This is a freshman. Again, this isn't an NBA player. This isn't even a senior in college. This is a freshman who is, 6 games into his college career in the middle of a pandemic, and these kids are going through enough. John Calipari is the adult in the room here. Act like the adult in the room.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You got anything else? Any other coaches you want to throw under the bus? Any other coaches you want to rip? You want to accuse any other players of faking injuries? You want to take shots at Coach K? No. Like, do you have anything to say about Kyrie Irving right now? Like, get it all.
Kyrie starts out tonight. I'm excited. I wonder if he's gonna to do his thing again. I am excited though. Golden State, Brooklyn tonight, big game. NBA starting up, doubleheader. Should be fun. I'm gonna have that on one TV and a couple college games on the other TVs, and I'm excited for tonight. Big day.
I'm excited as well. Before we get into tonight's play, I just want to let you know about the official odds provider of the Field of 68 Media Network. The 2021 college basketball and now NBA season is here. The teams around the country took the offseason to retool and revamp, and they have hit the court. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, has rolled out another one of their can't-miss offers. Trying DraftKings Sportsbook is easy, so what are you waiting for? Get in on the action now to celebrate the return of hoops. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new players 100-to-1 odds on any featured matchup this week. All you have to do is bet $1 on one of the featured matchups, and if your team wins, you cash a crisp $100. The other thing that they're doing this week is for the opening night of the NBA season, they are giving you plus 100 odds for any team with a plus 75 line. So they're basically guaranteeing you a win to double your money, which isn't bad. They're giving money away tonight.
Isn't bad. It's really
they're giving money away tonight. So sign up on the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code FIELD68 to get the 100 to 1 odds boost. The 100 to 1 odds on any featured matchup this week. DraftKings is safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and they make it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code FIELD68 when you sign up to get 100 to 1 odds on any featured matchup. That's code FIELD68 for new players to get a shot at $100 on any featured matchup this week for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey, Indiana, or Pennsylvania residents only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or in Indiana, 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Jeffrey, we got a fun slate of hoops tonight. I want to open up with the biggest game. That is West Virginia at Kentucky. A pair of top 10 teams, West Virginia at Kansas. I haven't had enough coffee yet this morning. West Virginia at Kansas. Kansas is laying 1.5. That total is 140.5. Fog Allen Fieldhouse, not going to be full. The referees not going to be intimidated by the fans. Two top 10 teams. I'm really excited for this matchup, even though it's probably going to be one of those games where you see 45 turnovers combined, somewhere around 50 fouls, and we may not get out of the 50s. What do you like there?
Kansas at Fog Allen. You know who's going to come up big in this one, right?
Your boy, David McCormick.
David McCormick is going to have his breakout game right now, tonight, against big, what do you call it? Big Sheep?
Big Sheep, baby.
Big Sheep and Derek Culver. Nobody's going to be bigger than David McCormick tonight. And I just, listen, again, it's 1.5 at Fog Allen for a team that I think, again, has some warts, but who doesn't? West Virginia has them also. And I don't know. I just feel like I don't love Kansas, but I just feel like they're going to grind it out. They're going to win this one. It's going to be close. Probably going to be in the 60s. I could see like a 65, 61 final, but I'll take Kansas if it's only 1.5.
I like West Virginia, and I like the West Virginia money line in this spot because I just think that this is about the worst possible matchup for Kansas. And the reason I say that is West Virginia's bigs can get out and play on the perimeter. They can get out and guard on the perimeter. We've seen Big Sheev like 45 feet away from the basket out there denying ball reversals. We've seen Derek Culver, the way that he can kind of move his feet on the perimeter. I think that Gabe Wasaboyan might be the most underrated defender in all of college basketball. That dude is like 6'7", 240 pounds, and he can guard anyone from point guards to centers. So like quite literally, he can guard 1 through 5. And the whole reason why we're seeing Kansas kind of have this success is that they've gone with this like small ball lineup with Jalen Wilson at the 5 and kind of 4 guards out there. And I don't know if that can work against a team that can play as big as West Virginia does while being able to guard, still being able to like match up. So I tend to lean towards West Virginia in this spot. And the other part of it is like one thing that I've kind of found a little bit of success in so far this year is taking small road dogs. Like normally I don't like to do that, but I have not seen a change in the way that these lines are coming out. Yeah. So for people that real quick, my process when it comes to like picking these games is I wake up, I go through, I compare all of the KenPom lines to all of the betting lines. And if there's something where there's like a very big difference, I kind of dive deeper into it a little bit and see if anything makes sense, just to kind of get a feel for what the slate is, for what some of the numbers think of them as. And it's all like, this is all anecdotal, but all of the lines are basically still in line with what KenPom is projecting. Now, maybe KenPom has tweaked his formula a little bit for predicting these games and measuring teams because there is no home court advantage, but that doesn't strike me as the kind of thing that he would do without a data point. So if we're getting the same line more or less, then wouldn't it make sense to try to take advantage of the value where road teams are not necessarily going to have a disadvantage, like they're not playing in a home court advantage, right? So I want to keep betting these like small road dogs because for the most part, Vegas gives you 3 points for a home court advantage. So if a team is getting 1.5 on the road, it generally means that the odds makers, the DraftKings, values them as the better team
this year. It's probably the home court is probably closer to 2 if I had to guess. So they're saying this is a pick'em game.
Yeah, more or less is what they're saying. So I'm going to take the team that I think is the better team. And I honestly think West Virginia is a better team than Kansas right now.
All right. That's fair. I mean, again, I think this one could go either way. Second best game of the day, Rob, has to be the battle, the ACC battle between Carolina and NC State. Maybe it's not the sexiest matchup because NC State hasn't done a ton yet. But anytime Carolina plays at NC State, it part of the reason it's so good is because of the NC State fans and the crowd. Yes. And obviously, NC State's not going to have that advantage either. How much is that going to affect them? Because they are I don't know if mean-spirited group is the right term for NC State fans, but they certainly can be. They can certainly be over the line at times. I've sensed that myself at times. But
let's just say they get after it. That's probably the nicest way to say it. They
definitely get after it. And I think right now the line is Carolina favored by 1. I think it opened with NC State as a slight favorite. Listen, Carolina is the better team here. So, how do you not go with Carolina right now, giving 1? I know it's down the road in Raleigh, but, how do you not take Carolina in this game? It almost looks like one of those that sucker Northwestern Michigan State line that I had the other night that I screwed up on, which was only 7, and then Northwestern blasted them by 15. I'm scared of this one, so I'm not touching it.
Yeah. I think I'm probably going to stay away from it as well. I think I like North Carolina State here a little bit. I'm worried about the size inside, right? Like we saw North Carolina just abuse Kentucky inside, get all of their bigs in foul trouble, foul them all out, and then pull away because they were going up against I don't even remember who was on the floor at the end for Kentucky, but they just had it was like Jacob Toppin was at the 5, and North Carolina's bigs.
They got every rebound.
Jacob Toppin trying to guard Day'Ron Sharp in the paint and box him out was just like it was like your daughter trying to box you out from getting the last donut. Like you're getting that donut no matter what. And I don't know if I really trust North Carolina State's bigs. Like they've had a little bit of issues on the defensive glass so far this year, and they haven't really played anybody, right? But the thing that they do better than anything else this season, better than almost anybody else in the country, is force turnovers. They're 30th nationally in turnover percentage defensively. And, North Carolina's young guards, they like to give the ball away. They've turned the ball over on almost 22% of their possession. So that's kind of what it's going to come down to for me is will North Carolina State be able to force turnovers? Because if you force a turnover, Jeff, you know what's not going to happen? You're not getting a shot up and you're not getting a shot at an offensive rebound. So I do kind of think that it comes down to that, is how effective are North Carolina's guards against NC State's ball pressure and trying to force turnovers. So I don't know if I want to trust young guards in the road, but I also don't know if I want to not trust Caleb Love and RJ Davis to kind of eventually they're going to figure it out eventually.
They're going to be
good.
Yep, they're going to be good. They're just not there yet.
So it's a pure stay away for me. If gun to my head, I would probably take NC State at home and just take the extra value on the money line. But I don't love the spot. I'm not. It's not Mitchell. It's not one of my picks. Don't write it down for me. It's not one of my picks.
What do you love?
So Louisville -3 at Pitt is just the quintessential bounce back spot. Louisville got smashed on the road.
Yep.
Just obliterated by Wisconsin.
Embarrassed.
Yeah.
Without Carly Jones. And the thing about it is, Luke Hancock is on the Floyd Street Finest podcast with Jeff Greer, our Louisville podcast. And what he was talking about is how difficult it is when you are expecting, because full disclosure, like we knew a little bit beforehand that Carlik was going to be out, but it wasn't a long time beforehand. Like it was within like 15 hours of tip that they were finding out that Carlik wasn't going to be there. So Louisville kind of prepared for a while, hoping that he was going to be out of contact tracing and ready to play, and they could find a way to get him on the floor. And they get there, and it's like, no, you can't do it. It's not possible. It's against COVID protocols. Like it's not going to happen. So
when you are expecting to have a guy that is so important to what you do be out there with you and he's not out there, like that changes a lot of things in the way that you're going to run things. And Carlik is just – he's so important because he's the point guard, but it also takes so much pressure off of David Johnson to be able to let him kind of be like a secondary playmaker. And the reason why Louisville is awesome is because they have those two guards. And they are – we talked about this before the Wisconsin game. Carlik and David Johnson together is one of the best backcourts in college basketball. Now, without Carlik, it just takes away so much of what makes them dangerous. So that's a long way of saying just like Louisville buy low bounce back spot. Like -3 is just is way, way, way too low for me. Like I make that line at like 6.
I'm on the Louisville train there. Carlik Jones I had as a third-team preseason All-American. He's their most important player by far. He can not only take pressure off David Johnson, but he can score the ball. He's one of the few guys who can jump up a level or two as a transfer and still be as effective. So I'm with you with Louisville on that one. Maybe my favorite play.
I just put in the Louisville bet, by the way, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, that line's going to change.
Yeah.
There have been times where during our live stream, the lines have actually changed. Like while we were sitting here live.
Hey, listen to you. I mean, you have a lot of juice, Rob. You don't understand how much juice you have.
So you know what was wild? When you broke that news about Carlik on Sunday, do you know how fast the line moved? The line went from Wisconsin -5.5. I think you broke it. I was tracking it. You broke it at 11:14 before noon tip, 11:14 Eastern time, right? And you broke it as I was getting in the car to drive home from Wegmans on a shopping trip. So I drive home, and it's 10 minutes. By the time I pull in my driveway, that line is 8.5. I get inside, and I unbag the groceries, and the line is 10.
It went up to 10?
It went up to 10. Wow. You changed that line 4.5 points in 15 minutes by breaking news.
Man, that's crazy. All right. The other –
But last thing. We very strongly hinted at that.
Right.
That's why you need to listen.
You got to read between the lines.
That's why you listen to this. We very strongly hinted at that.
Couldn't break it at that point in the morning. I had to wait a little bit before the game. But, yes, I made it very clear when I said I want Wisconsin first half. I want Wisconsin given the points, whatever the points are. The only thing I screwed up on was the damn under.
Yeah. Well, you didn't screw up on that. Quinn Slazinski killed you.
He screwed me up on that. He screwed me up on that. All right.
Last one. Missouri, -10.5.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Louisville, we teased that. Missouri, -10.5.
All right, there you go. We got a couple more. We got a couple more here.
All right, go.
I know you're not going to like this because Ken Pom does not agree, but I'm taking the points with UCF against Cincy. I think Cincy is not a very good team this year. Mm-hmm. And UCF coming off a win over Florida State, getting 2.5. I believe
they beat Auburn too. They beat Auburn too.
Yeah, I like UCF here. Like I don't understand your boy Pom Pom's numbers with this one.
I'm 100% with you. I'm on the.
You're going
UCF.
Against the Palmer?
I got the UCF money line.
Wow! I can't believe you're going against your boy. This is unlike you.
Here's the thing, and that you need to understand about Ken Pom. It is a great guide and a great data point to set up the rest of your analysis. If you look at it and you can say, "Oh wow, Ken Pom is overvaluing this team right now," like they are with Cincinnati, and undervaluing this team right now, like they are with UCF, and Vegas puts that much, and the DraftKings, like the people that makes the lines at DraftKings put that much value on Ken Pom. That's where we make our money, Goodman. Right. That's why you have to find the stuff in that.
The outliers.
That's the edge. That is the edge. UCF money line. Let's go.
John Mitchell tells us UCF's gone from getting 1 to getting 3 now, so I like it even more.
Oh boy! So we're fading the sharps, John. We're fading the sharps. Let's get after it.
All right, couple more. You got to go Purdue, Iowa. Purdue, Iowa. Robert. Iowa's giving 7 at home. A little bit of a bounce back game there after not being embarrassed by Gonzaga, but certainly not faring as well as they would have liked. I'll give the 7 here and take the Hawkeyes and say that Bohannon's going to make a few threes and they're going to light it up and they're going to take advantage of Purdue from the perimeter, not necessarily from the inside. I think Luka will do Luka's thing, but I think they're going to make some shots and they won't be as exposed. Purdue's got a lot of young guys playing a lot of minutes. Iowa's an older team. I like Iowa here, giving 7.
Yeah. Purdue is one of those defenses that forces you to try to shoot threes. Almost 48% of their opponents' field goal attempts are from beyond the arc, and they're forcing teams to shoot under 30% from three, which is very good. Because they have that much size, they're really good at doubling the post. Trevion Williams is one of the guys that, like, Luka's not going to be able to back him down. The other concern I have is the offensive glass. Like, Purdue's really good at getting to the offensive glass because, like, they just have a never-ending line of 7'4" monsters. But I don't know. I love the bounce back spot here for Iowa. There's no way that they shoot 4 for 22 from three again. Right. I don't know if Jordan Bohannon is ever going to make shots. Like, if you look at it, Jeff, he was 7 for 16 against North Carolina and had 24 points against North Carolina. In the other 6 games combined this season, he has 22 total points and is 6 for 30 from three. Like, I think I don't know. Like,
well, he's coming back from injury. Right. Yeah. A lot has been short. If you watch him shoot it, a lot has been short. The hip surgeries, he's had, I believe, 2. So I think he's still working his way back, and hopefully
he definitely is, man. And I hope he does too, because, like, he's been through a lot, and he also had one of the best moves I've ever seen in college basketball, signing his shoe and leaving it on the Hilton Coliseum court in his what we thought was his last ever college game. So Jordan Bohannon, we need that swag, man. We need that swag back in college basketball. So hopefully he gets healthy. I like the spot. I don't love the line just because I think that Purdue's going to be able to slow the game down, and 7 is a lot of points. But if there's no way I'm taking Iowa, or there's no way I'm taking Purdue in that spot. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be Iowa.
What else you got? Quick.
The last one is Texas Tech -2.5. It's again, bounce back spot. They were one jumper away from beating Kansas at home. Instead, they lost. And I'm not. I think Oklahoma might not be good. So I'm taking Texas Tech -2.5 on the road there, bounce back spot.
Not touching that one, but I am touching San Diego State. In St. Louis Obispo, playing St. Mary's, neutral site game, given 3, bounce back spot. Lose to BYU. I just don't know how good St. Mary's is yet. Like, I like them. I love Randy Bennett. I just think generally they take a little bit more time. They've gotten off to a good start. But San Diego State, I think, is, they've just Mensah, Mitchell. They got some dudes on that team. It'll be a low-scoring game. We know that. I don't even know. What's the over/under on that one?
I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me. I'll bring it up right now. I would stay away from the total there because St. Mary's is one of those teams that can get hot from 3.
They can. I just don't know.
Yeah, the total's 126.
Oh, geez. Is that it?
Yeah, 126.5.
Right, sorry. But I am taking San Diego State and giving them 3.
Of course you are.
I am.
Of course you are.
And I also like taking the points with Abilene Christian. You know how I feel about Joe Golding. They're getting 14 from Arkansas. I like that one too. I think Arkansas, here's the thing. Arkansas has played nobody for the most part so far. Not that Abilene Christian is Texas Tech, but they kept it fairly close against Texas Tech. So I like them to keep it close. And Arkansas just played last night, didn't they? Or 2 nights ago, and they got off to a slow start against Oral Roberts. Ended up beating them by about 10. So, anyway. All right, that's it for me.
Yeah, that's all I got. So
what's a baffling line? Can I give you one baffling line before we go? I believe Vermont is favored by 9 against UMass Lowell. This is your perfect setup here. Mm-hmm. UMass Lowell beat Vermont last night. It was Vermont's first game of the season. They beat them by 8, and now Vermont is favored by 9. Vermont has owned the America East for forever. But how about that? They come out, they lose in the first game, and now they're favored by 9 in the next game.
That's the spot. That's the spot right there. Also, worth noting along those same lines, Gonzaga did not cover last night against Northwestern State. Tonight they're laying 39. Last night they were laying 42.5. Are we gonna Gonzaga's process play? Process play says Gonzaga minus 39.
I'm just upset Chicago State couldn't play. I'm really upset Chicago State doesn't have enough dudes to be able to go out there and play today against Iowa State, because I was going to fade them, get back on that train, fade them, and now they're not playing. Why can't we get a few guys Chicago State should be able to get a few guys from like the local gym or something to come in.
Look, if Mark Titus really wants the Chicago State job, he's got to show his dedication.
I know.
Suit up.
Right.
Go pull a 21 Jump Street.
He's got some eligibility. Like, come on,
pretend your name is Tark Midas, right?
He's out running the beach in LA. Like,
he's definitely in shape. Look, I've seen him. Like, he's in shape, right? He's good to go. So say your name is Tark Midas.
Would average?
Go put on a jersey.
What would Titus average if Titus suited up tonight for the rest of the season for Chicago State? What do you think Titus could average if he played real minutes, 30 minutes a game? He can't go beyond that. He'd die.
He would average 0 points because he would stay on brand and he would not try to get no stats except points.
Nothing.
He'd be trying to get 25 trillions every single game.
He might be able to do it. Like, if there's anybody who could pull that off,
yes,
trying or not trying, it's Mark Titus.
It's definitely Mark Titus. All right, so here are my picks. I have the UCF money line. I have Missouri minus 10.5. I have the West Virginia money line. I have Louisville minus 3, and I have Texas Tech laying 2.5. Goodman, what do you have?
Kansas, Iowa, UCF, Louisville, San Diego State, Abilene Christian. There you have it.
All right. We will see you guys again tomorrow. Let's get some winners tonight, baby.